Welcome back to Ferocious Education, this is Ed. Today, we're going to be talking about one of my favorites from before, NIO. I did start talking about NIO back in 2020 when it was less than double digits. Now it's more than double digits, or actually almost mid double digits on its own. It does fluctuate back and forth, and I do have some updates that I do want to talk about it. But if you've never heard about NIO, and this is the first time you're watching anything about NIO, NIO tries to be the Tesla of China. Now, Tesla is actually present in China and does fairly well, but they do have different kind of price points and features for vehicles. Generally, NIO is considered somewhat cheaper than Tesla on its own, especially in China. Now, some of the announcements that it has that I do want to cover are actually three. One on November 19th, 9th, and as well December 1st. So the first one is on November 19th, and they announced the completion of the market offering. And this one was around $26 million for distribution agents. That's the deduction, but they raised around $2 billion, US dollars to be exact, at the market offering for around 53 million shares or so. And that money is basically being raised the same way that Tesla did, and it's to raise operations. I'll go into details into why they needed to do that. But before, let's take a look into just the delivery updates. This doesn't include December yet, which will come in soon, but has a good amount of information to give you an impact or an idea about the impact of this year. So year to date, they have around 80,940 vehicles year to date, which is around 120.4% year-over-year increase. I do anticipate that that number will probably be around 90,000 vehicles up to date for this year. Now, NIO delivered 10,878 in November 2021, which is a double from the year over year. Now, they do give you some details. For instance, representing 105.6 increase from year to year, the delivery consisted of around 2,683 ES8s, the company's 6 or 7-seater flagship premium smart electrics. Now, the majority of their deliveries are in the ES6s, This is the company 5-seater high-performance premium smart electric SUVs, and 3,482 EC6Ss, the company's 5-seater premium smart electric coupe SUV. Now, overall, taking a look into their third quarter results, what we get to see is year to year, there has been a nice increase in deliveries in terms of quarter per quarter. It's more than double almost in every single case. Especially in the first quarter, that's the pandemic kind of where it hit hardest. They've really broke those records on its own. Now, it's all right. Vehicle sales are around $1.34 billion, which is amazing. But in terms of margins, you're looking at an 18% margin compared to 14.5%, which is amazing. But in the second quarter of 2021, it was 20.3%. So there is a bit of a drop there. In terms of revenues, they're getting around $1.52 billion in the third quarter of 2021, which is more than double. In terms of net loss, see, this is the issue here, is you got loss from operations, which is around $154 million, and their net loss is $130 million, even though they're making record revenues. So the net loss represents a decrease of 20.2% from the third quarter of 2020 and an increase of around 42.3% from the second quarter of 2021. Excluding share-based compensation expenses and adjusted net losses, the results were around $88.4 million in the third quarter of 2021, representing a decrease again from 42.9% from the third quarter of 2020. So these numbers are not good when it comes in towards comparing them from quarter to quarter, although even year to year it wasn't that good. So there is fundamental issues here with net loss, but that is part of the reason why they did have to go and raise some shares and raise some money through that $2 billion to make sure they're afloat with that net losses. Now, these net losses are also attributable to a lot of different operations, and even if we get to see kind of the breakdown, but all in all, hopefully this company does go on forward and spends a little bit less on research and development, or at least gets a lot more revenue to cover research and development's cost rather than being a net loss company. But do remember, Tesla followed the same shoes and was net loss for the longest time, with a few outliers here and there. Now, in terms of comparing it to Tesla, So let's take a look at key fundamentals. Your price over sale is 8.7 and the price over book is 11.72. Tesla's is 23.28 and 40.31 respectively. Gross margins, you're sitting at 19% for NIO. Tesla does around 23.11. Now the operating margin is 9.57 and the net profit margin is around 7.68. For NIO, it's 9.07 and 9.92 on the negative side, respectively. Return on assets, 6.31 for the return on assets. This is a yearly, by the way, metrics, both of them. Profitability and management effectiveness. And return on equity is negative 61%. Return on investment capital is negative 11.6. Now, for Tesla, 6.95, 16.10, and 10.39 respectively. So Tesla is currently doing better, but NIO is actually following the same footsteps of Tesla. This is what Tesla looked like around, I'd say, 3 or 4 years ago. Tesla didn't always come with net profits, but they grew to a range that they were able to get there. Now, in terms of institutional buyers are a bit mixed. You see some changes in shares and some additions. So it's a little bit mixed, but overall, I would say it's the end of the year mill where just people adjust or institutions just adjust shares based on their portfolio. The majority of it does look like some decreasing of shares, and others here and there earlier on in the month we're adding. Before moving on towards technical analysis, if you would like to see more contents like this, make sure to click the subscribe button and leave notifications on. Also, don't forget to drop a like if you've enjoyed this video. If you would like to join our Discord, feel free to do so in the description below. Now let's move on towards technical analysis. Now, from a technical analysis perspective, there are a few points that we need to be very careful of. Now, this is an amazing bullish kicker. The price point really flew from around 28 to around 32. Might not be a big thing, but it's around 15% on the ticker. Now, there is a few things that are as a result of this. First off, the ADX is kind of retracting back from that what was a negative reversal, or a negative trend in general, to a positive reversal. William %R shows that this one is in fact overbought today. William %R gives you kind of the same information as the RSI or the relative strength index. Now, MACD histogram shows a positive reversal went into the positive side, indicating there might be a bullish move or a bullish trend at this point, and momentum is very close to confirming that as it touches the 0 or the negative 1.32 to be particular from the bottom, but it's very close towards hitting the positive indicator or positive side of the indicator of momentum. Stochastic fast and stochastic slow both suggest that there might be another leg up for this one. All indicators are showing upwards trends. Now, moving on towards the moving average bands, volumes, of course, have really seen a spike, which is good. Now, we've seen these kind of pushes before, but this one here, the moving average bands, is expected to trade for this one between 34.81 and 28.48. But what we're able to see is this kind of moving average bands is going downwards. Now, it's seeing kind of stabilization with this bullish kicker, and the hope is that it curves back upwards and moves into a bullish trend. Currently, that is seemingly to be what's happening, but we still need a few days to kind of see this one. But in all fairness, it is above the middle point of the moving average bands, and so the next good point would be above 31.64. If we do hit below there, 28.48, that might be a dangerous part for the moving average bands, and we need to be above the middle. Now, Fibonacci retracements. We see a significant resistance at the 35.26, following 41.33, 46.23, 51.12, 58.20, and 66.98. Support is at 25.47. From a price line action, though, we're able to see some significant supports and resistances. For instance, on the support, 32.11, following that, 31.31, and then 30.64 going down to 29.56 and 28.09 to 27.62, following 27.55, 26.47, and 25.46. Resistances, 33.33, and then following that, 35.27, a critical one at 36.82, following that, another hard one to break at the 39.37, 40.98, 43.07, 44.68, 46.43, 47.70, 49.79, 51.87, and 55.16. Now, from analyst recommendations, we're able to see that there are a bunch of bullish ones. Even on the lower point at $45, it's still a 51.87% increase from its current point. On average, it's around 100%, and on high, around 200%. The average price target is around 61.86. That's around 91.46% upside, and it has a strong buy with 7 buys and 1 hold from analysts. Now, there is a bunch of different people that are actually giving these analysts, including Morgan Stanley, that gave it a buy, including Deutsche Bank, Citigroup, Bank of America Security, HSBC. There's a bunch of them, JP Morgans. But coming into the question, what I think is going to happen. Now, this company here, of course, rallied massively where it was in 2020 from around a penny stock to a massive company with up to around $67 on the top. Currently, it's around $30. Now, that seems on its own like a massive drop from where it was, almost erasing a lot of the gains that it received in 2021 and going back to around a year ago, around 2020, October. This company here, its own, is still following the footsteps of Tesla. And they're doing very much the same parts. It's just that the hype itself doesn't have a Tesla hype. And we're not saying that this will get a Tesla hype, but in the EV sectors, it is following a successful recipe. The question is how long would you hold for this one before it actually starts prospering? Now, what do you think about this ticker? Make sure to put it down in the comments below. Sure, subscribe and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.